Do you know his look, yeah? His look gives like quintessential East African fuck boy. Like, he just looks like trouble. People to avoid.
This is the Two African Girls Review Podcast,
Where we review black and brown film, TV, and more. We are back with another review. Country Queen.
Yay.
We were so excited about the show. We've been excited for some time. And then when it got released, our plan was we're going to watch one episode and then go and review right after. That only worked.
It worked in theory, but let me tell you, when we started watching,
we couldn't stop.
Yeah, so we just ended up watching everything all in one sitting.
Oh, like after watching episode 1, we had to go to sleep. I was buzzing. I had so many thoughts, things that I wanted to share.
We've decided that in order to do this show justice, because if I'm being correct, it's the first Kenyan Netflix show.
It is.
We are going to be doing a single episode for every episode. So episode 1, like today, we're just discussing episode 1.
Yeah, of the show.
That is true.
Yeah.
First of all, let me tell you guys, this show touches on so many heavy topics.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be worth a listen.
And it's worth a watch. We're assuming that if you're listening to this, you watched it.
Yeah, you probably watched it.
If you did not, you probably should
go watch, because then what we're talking about will make sense to you.
Yeah, maybe hold off on listening to the podcast, go watch the show, and then come back and listen.
It touches on so many topics, which I think are very important for us to talk about as Africans, you know. Some of these things, we sweep them under the rug and we never discuss them. Yeah. So I feel like it's an important conversation starter.
It is. Okay, so we're going to get into it. Episode 1 for Country Queen is directed by Carla Bola and Vincent Mbaya. The writers are Wanjeri Gakuru, Ian Kavinji, Lydia Matata.
Just like we do. Okay, this is our second episode, so let me know. Like we do. we want to start with what we loved the most about the.
This is hard. There's a lot of things that we love about this show. I don't think our format is going to work. This only worked on Glamour Girls because there's a lot of things we hate. We probably have to switch up. We're just going to get into it. Everything that we love. Oh, God help us. If we start rumbling, guys,
just know that we really enjoyed the show.
We really did. And it's so hard.
This is just episode 1. So
imagine.
Yeah.
To organize our thoughts, it's a difficult thing. I will just say that. Start.
Okay, so let me begin with the first thing that really caught my attention was the opening shot itself, because it was a shot of the landscape.
Yeah.
Which was really nice. And, you know, it almost looks like we're from Uganda, so it almost looks like Uganda. And also, the part where they were showing the township. Is it a township?
Yeah, like the town.
Yeah, the town, the children jumping the rope, that golden light, that was so beautiful. I think
guys, we're probably going to be a bit biased. So you know, we're country girls, we grew up in the country.
That is true.
So a lot of the shots and the activities, you know, that late afternoon lull, where people have come back from work and
before
field,
the sunset,
and you're playing outside, kids are back from school. Yeah, that nostalgia, I can relate. We can identify with that. So
the golden sunlight,
yeah,
they really captured that well.
Some shots really look like Uganda. I was like, what?
Yeah, that is so true.
Like the animals,
the cows
coming back from grazing.
Yes, it did. So
yeah, it was beautiful shot. You know, the DOPs, yeah, they love some backlighting.
Yeah, and they really
were
so
in their bag. Yeah, yes. I love the shots. Anyway, so yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah. So what else? The music.
The opening
great
music, choices.
The title sequence music.
That's a beautiful title sequence. I have to say, it is.
Yeah, and I feel like throughout the whole show, obviously we're talking about episode 1, there is a sense of calmness. I think it was intentional for them to do that, because this is
they got the ambience of country life down.
Yes,
that's so true. I felt that was true to how it is.
Yeah, and the music reflected that.
Pretty much.
The pictures reflected that, because it's
people's movements. Like there's no rush, like no city rush. It was very true to the character.
Yeah, you could tell
those
you could
kind
tell
of communities.
The difference between a person living in the city and a person living in the rural area. You can tell, like, there's a sense of, you know, time is irrelevant.
And I think they did that great well. Like, at the acting, I feel like the lead actress, she did a good job. Kiplagat, she did a good job in portraying that. You could see she's a city girl. Like, when the mom is like, where are you going? There was a sense of running.
Urgency,
yeah. And everybody's just like, what? Where are you rushing to?
And then when she goes back to her home, which is in the village, it's like the people around are just...
They're chilling.
Yeah, it's like there's no sense of urgency, actually. So they did that. And I feel like the music reflected that.
Yeah, the direction and acting was... They did a good job on that. So then, we meet everyone who's important to the story. We meet Akisa's father. And also that actor did a really good job in portraying like, an older,
wiser by experience.
Yeah, like African Musei, like African older man.
Mm-hmm.
You could see there's a part where he asks, have I been a good father?
Oh
my gosh, the nostalgia, the melancholy in his eyes. Oh, that was so well done. Oh, I felt it. That was beautiful. He's a good actor.
Because you do see that actually.
Yeah, you do.
People who are older and people who are, like, they've seen it all and they're like, yeah, I've seen it all.
I've done something.
Yeah.
Did I do what was right?
Yeah.
And that's when he was in his daughter's room.
Yeah.
Who we learn is Akisa.
That is true.
That's Akisa. Okay, anyway, I think we should go in a bit of order, just,
Okay.
Yeah, guys, again, like we said, we'll be rumbling a lot. We're buzzing. Anyway, so at the beginning, we've met the older man, right? Mm-hmm. And then we see him collapse in the veranda or in his backyard among chickens that appear to have been poisoned. Yeah. We don't know, like, if it's poison or if it's sickness, but we know the chickens are dead. And
it's not normal.
And it's not.
Chickens can't just die all at once like that.
He's alerted by the kids who are
playing around.
Yeah. We see that. I feel like maybe he's, sometimes like when you grow the chicken, they're kind of like your livelihood, especially if you're like retired.
You're attached to them.
And you live in the country. And then they all die. I think he collapsed out of shock. That's the part we're not really, at this point.
Do you think it was out of shock?
Or it's his sickness.
That's the thing.
Maybe he was shocked and then his sickness, the shock exacerbated his sickness.
Oh, the sickness.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, the chickens are dead. So we meet Akisa in the city. She receives a package from somebody.
Yes.
Oh my
And the person
God.
is called, so the person who delivers the package is called Watos.
Yeah, Watos.
And you know what the impression I got from that is this person, she knows him on a first name
basis.
basis.
There's a way he was smiling when he handed her the box. Like,
that means he knows what's up.
Yeah. So he be delivering stuff. He knows stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see, I think a co-worker. Akisa seems to be working in an events management company.
Actually, it has there on the computer, Akisa Events.
Ah.
Yeah. So it's her event company then.
Yeah, and she's talking about how she doesn't want to do baby showers anymore. Guys, baby showers have become such a big deal these days.
Yeah, people spend a lot of money on it.
Even in Uganda, it's a big deal.
Like, are you even having a baby if you didn't have a shower?
Things that we never used to do before. Times change.
Anyway.
And she said she doesn't want to do them anymore.
I think she wanted more big ticket events.
Yeah, them bringing more money. Yeah. We see her co-worker saying, you have a mystery man. So that's when we learn, oh, it's a man. Ooh, man.
Anyway,
I already smell trouble.
We'll get to that part. Yeah, and then what happens next?
Yeah, then we go to the event. And that's where we meet the person who sent her that boxed item, which we find out is a dress.
Right. So this guy, guys, listen. This guy sends this girl. So he sends Akisa a dress. It's a golden dress.
Yeah, it is.
And then we later find out that his wife is also wearing a golden dress.
And we find out he has a wife, first of all.
Right, that part too.
And then they're making out in like
the event where the wife is supposed to be
in some hidden area, and he's like, and then she's like, what if they see us? And he's just like, I'll pay them off. Do you know his look? Yeah, his look gives like quintessential East African fuck boy. Like he just looks like trouble. People to avoid. They're like, true. I don't know if you guys hear these stories. Right? In Uganda we have these stories that he looks like the people who have this day. He said, you're my girlfriend, and then the next weekend Sunday
you see him getting married. And you're like, wait a minute.
On Facebook.
Oh my God.
Because that's where the stuff... And then, of course, WhatsApp forwarding of pictures. Oh my God. Like, that's how he looks. The moment I saw him, I was like, yeah, this guy is not...
He has that look.
Yeah, he has that look. Chartered accountant, he's a banker. They're usually like in that career. Mm-hmm. And then that's before I even knew he was married. And I could already see. So, you know what? Casting was on point. He does look like what he
fits the description.
He does.
And then...
But this guy, he's not smooth. He bought them...
That's the thing, though.
And then did you hear his excuse? I didn't realize she was going to wear that dress today.
No shit, Max. He's like, no. Try harder, man. Because, you know what? I feel like after that, Akisa felt embarrassed.
She did. Who would not? Which is funny because at first, when Max is on stage, he's talking about, yes, my wife, somebody who, I don't know anybody who's more hardworking than her. I'm like, wait, who is he talking about? And then that's when we learned that that's his wife. And then he's like, my wife. And Akisa is just beaming, smiling. I'm like, oh, okay. So they have an arrangement and she's okay with it.
It seems, yeah. Because she knows he's married to this powerful woman. So later on, we find out the woman is the CEO of Ekoro, which is the gold mining company.
Yeah, they mine stuff.
Yeah. And she is the CEO and she's married to this guy, but then this guy has Akisa as his side.
They have some sort of arrangement.
Yeah. So the fact that Akisa was not even fazed by it means...
Even her, his wife does not seem fazed by it. When they were like by the pool, and she was saying, "You bought us the same dress." You remember that part, the dress that she later burned?
She burnt the dress. That's true.
She seems like it's like she knows.
It's like common knowledge.
Yeah, and they're like in agreement. Anyway,
which is interesting.
Yeah, and in that part by the pool, she does mention that I polished you up to be like what you are.
Like, so basically, I made you.
So yeah, we're seeing the dynamics there. Yeah. Somebody is somebody's bitch. I'm not gonna say bitch.
I've already said it.
There's the power play.
We also see the part where they're involved in some kind of gold laundering.
Yeah,
smuggling or laundering.
They're like, no, we don't know if it's laundering yet. Remember? I mean, okay. We learn that it's laundering because the reporter then says, because the reporter looks at the figures and realizes that Ikorok says these are the numbers for the amount of gold they get from their mining activities in Kenya. And when they check the papers for how much they produce at the mining site, it does not match up.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So then they realize like something fishy is going on. They're getting gold from somewhere and claiming that it is from Kenya.
So the Congo part, first of all...
Yeah, we all know this. I mean, we've been new.
Yeah, everybody knows the gold actually comes from Congo. Majority of it anyway. But the part I wanted to talk about is the part where they...
I didn't even know Kenya had gold. Did you know that?
We don't know a lot of things. The part I wanted to talk about was how they nailed the Congolese men. Because everybody, if you're East African, you know that Congolese men can dress.
They
like, one thing Congolese men will do is dress up. Generally Congolese people, but
they
like the men, because it's so funny. Like, they'll be wearing like silk shirts, like super colorful pants, but somehow it works. So I feel like they portrayed that in the characters. The people who were bringing the gold, they later found out it was fake.
Yeah.
But like when they were bringing it, they were all like dressed up in like these colorful clothes and jewelry. I think they did a really good job. They nailed that.
That's true. Then we realized that, at the event that Akisa's events company puts on for Ikorok, we see somebody comes from the audience and throws, I don't know, did the person throw shit or dirt? It was something wet.
Yeah, like wet mud
or wet poop, whichever. And they threw it on Vivian, who is
Mrs.
Sibala, who is the head of Ikorok. She was very...
And the person kept on saying, your land grabbers.
Yeah. And your thieves. Yeah, we later learned that this
company... To connect dots. But you know what? It's not even far-fetched. Because where there is a mineral mining facility, chances are people are going to be displaced. So...
where there's any whatever
land,
they will oppress those people,
and we know this firsthand. So
firsthand,
I mean, we know people, like we know relatives and people.
No, you probably know it firsthand. You come from a place where they do that.
Yeah, we come from a place where they do that. Yeah. So like,
it's really bad.
Yeah, it is devastating.
And then do you know what? When we're watching, you can see the hierarchy. You can see that this person reports to this person, who reports to Mrs. Sibala, who then reports to... It was a white man. There has to be a white man. I knew it.
At the top. Yep.
And if he's telling you those gold-plated Swiss watches, we know why.
We know where they're coming from.
We know where they get it from. You know what? Oh, God, I hope they don't cancel this show. Because when it gets too deep, Netflix dips.
Yeah, because they realize everybody and their mama are involved.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
And they don't like to upset people.
Yeah. Because then it becomes too political.
They better get into it. Because this is it's real. It happens. The Swiss person at the top in the hierarchy, that was really not so far-fetched.
Yeah, that's true.
And you remember when they were asking her this thing at the table? Like, they asked Mrs. Sibala, hey, what advice do you give to young women entrepreneurs? And she was like, well, make for yourself a seat at the table, not her girl bossing.
But that's the thing. See, guys, I don't know. I have a problem with this. Okay, I feel like this is even a conversation for another day because
it is.
It's very loaded because you see these people, and I'm not even demonizing them. Maybe I am, but like you see these people, yeah, like they've achieved all this success and what society deems as success. You know, the cars, the money, the financial independence, and all of these things. And then they make those people without fully understanding how they got where they got. We put these people on a pedestal and we make them role models. So everyone must aspire to be like this person.
You don't know that Vivian is messing people's lives up to be like where she is. She's literally stepping on people, dead ones too.
So I feel like this is the part that we miss the most. Even your favorite motivational speakers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at a point where I understand that, to get somewhere, you have to sacrifice something. That's just the way the system is set up. But I think we have to be honest with ourselves and say, I got here because of this and this and this. It's up to you whether you want to make me your role model or not. Give the information so that the person can then make their own informed decision, instead of like having these people as a role models without really fully understanding the dynamics behind their success. Anyway, those are my 2 shillings.
So then we see, remember when the father collapsed in the field?
Yeah.
He's found by 2 women. One, we figure that's his wife and the auntie. And then it's odd because it's the aunt, Salome, who calls Akisa like, hey, your dad is sick. But Akisa looks like she's so not interested.
Yeah.
You can see like she's like, okay, whatever. I don't like, yeah, he's sick, okay, and so. But then she keeps having like these flashbacks. You can see that I don't know, this is when we start to see that she has a history of trauma.
So in the flashbacks they show
there's times when she zones out.
But that's true. And they show this young girl and her dad, so we later find out that's the dad.
Yeah.
Her dad taking a child from a young woman. I feel like that has to do with the trauma that she's facing.
Yeah. Because she doesn't sleep well. She's sometimes like I don't know, does it come when she's really like super happy or things are looking well? Because when she was turning around, there was a really beautiful shot of her at the event before it started, the event she put on for Eco Rock. And then she's turning around. You can see like she's content, but then it's like something hits her and then she zones out and then starts to see her dad. I feel like she has a lot of trauma from whatever events happened.
That is so
which is so sad. Anyway, and then Max doesn't get what he wants. Because like when she's, after the event kind of gets messed up by the member of public who throws shit at Mrs. Sibala. Mrs. Sibala is pissed that my event got messed up. She then gets pissed at Max. So Max doesn't get lucky. So he goes to his backup plan. Akisa. I don't know. Akisa seems okay with this.
No, but I don't think she was okay. In that scene, she said, I'm tired of being your backup person. Like she wants
better.
Yeah.
For herself.
Yeah.
And then Akisa reminds him, you're a husband. And then Max is like, that's hurtful. I'm like, please, this clown. And then Max said, give us a chance. No, give me a chance to fight for her. And then, oh my God, Akisa, you better not agree. But you know, it's a good thing is that she did not agree because the next morning, she's on a drive back home.
Yeah, to
see her
parents.
Her father who was sick because the auntie called. And on the call, he's like, he's like telling her, I love you. And she's like, yeah, okay.
But wait, before we even go there,
just over here.
I was confused by, you know, like how they introduced Vivian Sibala as Mrs. Sibala. So in my mind, I thought Max was the Sibala. You get? Yeah. But it seems Max is not a Sibala. So I'm wondering how what
why is Max's name Sibala too? Because they called him Mr. Sibala.
Yeah, it's
maybe his name coincidentally happens to be Sibala as well. She likes Sibalas.
I don't think that's how it works. It's just so odd, the relationship, the dynamic between the two of them, where she is married to him, but he's like her henchman, but then he's also called Mr. Sibala.
We don't like to use the word henchman. Are we sure we know the definition for henchman?
Okay, let's find the definition of henchman. Henchman, a faithful follower or political supporter, especially one prepared to engage in crime or violence by way of service.
Okay, yeah, correct. He is a henchman.
Yeah.
Where do we go to? You know, we cut to Sri Lanka. We go to Sri Lanka again. And then that's where we meet Chalo.
Yeah.
Chalo is putting up posts like in the night.
And
then in the morning we see the posts they're saying like get off our land. Basically we see that he's into some sort of activism.
Yeah, that's true. And we also find out that the activism, what he's protesting against is the company
called Eco Rock
of Sibala.
Yeah, that's Vivian's company.
Yeah, the event that Akisa was arranging.
Yeah.
So it seems it's a big company and, you know, they're wreaking havoc in this village.
And it looks like they're exploratory mining. They're not sure yet. They're looking for stuff.
Yeah. And then Chalo is protesting against them.
Oh my God, that's when we see the kids. Do you know that's when we see the kids?
Yeah, that's when we see the kids working in the mines. And
it's like open pit mining.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the conditions do not look good. There's like this guy, he's like an overseer. he just keeps ordering people around.
Yeah.
It gives very much slavery.
Yeah, it's like the mine is, like they've overmined it. The place is dry.
Yeah, the place is real
very
dry.
dusty. The children are dusty and hungry too.
Yeah.
And the broad sunlight.
Oh, in like mid-afternoon sun.
Yeah.
Oh, mid-afternoon sun burns.
So
In Uganda, it burns.
and then
Because I don't be trying to go out at that time.
And then we also see that Charlo has a girlfriend.
Oh yeah, we see like he has like this cute homestead up in the hills
Overlooking the valley.
It's really nice
Yeah.
up there. And we see, what do we see? We see that he has a nice body. Because we're like, but how is this man showering? I think he was washing his face. He woke up. Okay. He was washing his face.
Maybe that's how he washes his butt. Listen, that's not the point. The point
At
is...
least he bathers.
You have to put that in there.
Oh God, no, look. I'm not an agenda anti-white people, but...
Stop saying that. That's how we got black last
Oh,
time.
shoot that. Yeah, let's go.
We need to cut that out.
We love white people.
Oh my God. Anyway, so, and then we see a girl.
Yeah, she arrives on a boda.
Yeah. And
That's like a piki. Okay. What is English for? A motorbike.
who am I explaining for? Everybody knows what a boda is.
Wait, there's these people who are non-East Africans who don't know what boda is.
Okay, so
which is like
boda
Okada, which is like...
Okada is like...
Oh no, a tuk-tuk. Okay.
It's not a tuk-tuk. It's literally a motorbike.
It's just bike.
Yeah.
That people sit on.
It's
Public
like
transport.
public transport. Yeah. So he arrives on a boda. She arrives, and
It's like she's rushing to work.
yeah, and she has this really nice hair.
She has really nice,
But also-
natural hair.
But that's the thing, like the hairstyles.
Yeah, this is one episode, and the diversity of
The
hair.
hairstyle, because we missed the part of the journalist. The hairstyles are nice.
Yeah, because
so
we see
far.
the journalist who's looking at the figures of Ikorok's mines with what they have at productions. He also has a really nice hairstyle.
Yeah, and then his supervisor too.
Yeah, like supervising editor, she has really nice hair too. The diversity is just good.
Yeah, different
I love
kinds
the
of
hair.
hairstyles. That was.
Did you
really
see
good.
braids?
Yeah, Grace had braids.
Ah.
Well, not really braids. Cornrows.
Oh yeah.
2 of them.
Did we see any like box braids?
No, I don't think did we?
No. Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. We didn't see any.
We
of
saw
them.
cornrows. We saw
Mrs.
twists.
Sibala has a weave.
Yes.
Who has twists?
Twists. Joe, the reporter.
Okay, and then his supervisor has like, what is that hairstyle called?
They look like coils. She has a complete fade on the side.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she has like coils in her hair. I can't really tell, but the hair is amazing.
And then the girl who was working with Akisa had a weave. A weave or a wig?
Whichever.
Yeah. And then the mamas have like head wraps.
Yeah.
So there was diversity in the hair.
It was refreshing.
Yeah, very nice to see. And then, where were we? Right. Charlo.
Oh, and Anna.
And Anna.
Yeah, we find out that she's named Anna, and she lives nearer to town. So she just drives, like, she rides up just to say hi to him, I think, before she goes to work. And they're so cute, guys. I ship them.
They're so adorable.
He has a ring, yo.
Yeah, and he had a ring. And I think he wanted to propose.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what? You wouldn't have to travel that far if you just stayed here.
And she's like, why do you live so far away?
Yeah.
And they were so cute.
They're
like
really
the affection, the PDA. Well, it wasn't really PDA.
It wasn't in public. It was in the privacy of their home.
Yeah, that was cute.
It was so cute. I ship them.
She put them. Anyway. And then it cuts, not cuts. And then we move on to like the community meeting, right?
Yeah.
So the community meeting, it's like there's 2 groups of people. There are those who support what Ekorok is doing in their village. And then there are those who are against it. So this is when we see Mr. Mwalimu, the father of Akisa.
Yeah.
He comes by.
Because that's after he has talked to his family, his wife, and tells her, I need to go sort out this land issue.
Yeah.
So they seem to be having an issue with their land. And we see that being talked about with the community people. Most of them are like, did you see women at that?
No, they were all men, I think.
Yeah, so patriarchy galore. They were sitting there at the meeting, and we can see that there's 2 camps. There are those who are for the so-called development that the mine
is promising to bring.
Yeah, not has brought even, is promising.
If they...
You know how these companies
if they give up their land.
This is probably a good time to say the mining companies in Africa are usually Canadian. We do not, we love Canada. Next.
Hey, wakisema visa.
Yeah, please give me a visa.
Where were we?
We keep getting lost.
Yeah.
The mining company. We have 2 camps. Those who are for the so-called development that the mines promise to bring. Mm-hmm. And then those guys who are like...
We need to protect the land.
We need to protect the land
and
continue practicing the customs that our forefathers did, that are sustainable. Because, oh my goodness, when you see the place where the mine is, it's dry. And,
it's like the soil is eroding.
Yeah, it really looks bad.
The trees are cut down.
It's
super dry.
And it's open
dusty.
pit.
Yeah.
If it's open pit, that means the wider the area for the mine, they just cut everything down.
Yeah, they will. And then in that community meeting, that's when we also see Chalo and his father. Yeah, we meet his father. And the father is very questionable.
He is. He is the village. Is he like the community head of council?
I think so, yeah, because they would go to him. Yeah, he is. And then his son, Chalo, who is also a protester, is on the side of Akisa's father. Because Akisa's father came and said, look, they're killing my chickens. Next time, you don't know who it will be.
Yeah.
So he was, for him, he was saying that we should protect the land. We should protect the ancestral land. This is the land of your children. This is the land of your forefathers and mothers. I put the mothers part there.
Yeah.
Because it's usually fathers. Anyway, and then, what's his name? Chalo agrees with him.
Yeah.
And then Chalo's father, who is of the other camp,
and we know that Chalo would agree with him because he's the one who was putting up those posters like, get off our land.
Yeah, yeah. And then his father is on the opposite camp and he abuses him. He says...
Yeah.
Something about him not being a man.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Not being man enough to participate in this conversation.
You don't think they say that stuff to him because he's not married either?
Break time. What was your favorite scene? The kids jumping the rope in the golden light. The lighting, the dust. It was just so golden. I loved it so much.
When Akisa and Chalo are running in the trees, I specifically like the way the shot broke into a flashback. That was beautiful.
What was your favorite sound? Where Chalo was washing his face in the morning. That was really nice. Very serene and peaceful sound. I liked that.
Specifically, it's the music playing when we see Akisa walking in the trees and then we transition into a flashback of Chalo and her running through the woods and then to a rock. I love the music.
What was your favorite line? Mwalimu, Akisa's father, asks his wife, am I a good father? I think every parent asks themselves that. And I feel like he was wondering if he has made good decisions and if he could do better if he had a chance.
When Chalo says to Akisa, you're back. I love the delivery done by the actor. There is a sense of surprise, disbelief, and happiness. He has no child. He's not married. He does not have a career that they deem respectful or manly.
Yeah, that is true. Which was very sad because... But then again...
We're kind of biased because Chalo is like a cutie. But... he's like activist bae.
No, whether he is a cutie or not, I don't think it's right for your parent to be saying those things to you.
No, it's not. Also, it shows...
Whether you're a boy or a girl.
It speaks more to the insecurities. You can see that is a concern for some, and mind you, in this episode, they called out his manhood
twice.
That means it's like a big deal.
Yeah, it's like a running joke. Everybody knows that he's not man enough. Because the next time they did that was when the guys from the mine, anyway, they came to the bar to get some drinks. And then they got into like an argument. Mm-hmm. And then the men from the mine were abusing him, saying he doesn't do manly work. Like, because he's not in the mine with the rest of them, his work is not manly enough. So basically, he's not a man.
Yeah, you can see that a lot of the people in this community are preoccupied with, especially the men, they're preoccupied with
being men.
With dick measuring.
Being men.
There's a lot of insecurity about, is what I'm doing making me a man? Is it enough to be a man? Is it contributing, adding points to my manliness?
Yeah.
You can see that as a concern. Because some of the work, you're like, really? You don't even get that much from the mine. But no. Yep. Oh my goodness, the mining conditions are horrible. Those children go in there with no protective gear. They are young kids.
And did you notice?
Really young.
It's like they specifically recruit young kids.
Yeah.
Later on in the show, I got the impression that they specifically recruit young kids because they are small enough to get into the nooks that the adults would not get into.
Yes.
Which is so dangerous because the children don't have any protective gear. And we see a part, it's the part of one of the children. So one of the children is called Josiah. And you see him go inside the thing. He starts to dig around and he finds a large piece, almost palm-sized, a large piece of gold, like a raw rock of gold. And he finds it, and then the supervisor comes, gets the piece of rock from him, and leaves the child there.
Yeah, so his first thought is, I'm just going to get this gold from this kid.
Yeah, they don't care about the safety of the children. So that's really dangerous.
It's the friend who had to pull him out. It's a mess. And then he claimed that he found that gold, which is scary because then we learned that this is the first gold that they've found in their exploratory mining. Do you see the amount of land they have to strip to get to
that one piece? And even that one
That means they're going to decimate that entire community.
to look for stuff.
We meet the brothers. It's really be your brothers.
Yeah.
We meet the brothers of Mwalimu. And we find out, we assume that they're the brothers because he tells them, our mom is buried on the land. I cannot sell the land. I will not. And they're like upset, like, why do you want to stay in this dump? You're following. That was actually very ominous. They say to him, you're following our mom.
And then he died.
And then he died.
That same day. Actually.
Yeah, he died that same day.
Oh, damn.
Akisa arrived that day too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he died after that. I'd be suspecting. And it'd be your brothers too. Guys, usually, if you watch murder mysteries, the people who kill you are those you know.
It's statistically proven that the people who are going to kill you are people you already know, people in your circles. So
we meet Kanini too. Kanini is arriving. You know, like it has. I love the ambience of this scene. It's like, you know, late afternoon when.
Almost every scene is late afternoon.
But that part I really love. It's like late afternoon when everybody's coming back from work, from the field, from whatever occupation they were involved in or engaging in, and you see some people like, you know, the market. People are coming to buy some market produce, and then there's the people sitting outside watching everyone. Ooh, this is actually the scene where we see some mamas sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
Then one is blind. One, I believe she was deaf. There's another one
Who could not speak.
Yeah, so I love the disability representation as well. That was really good. And they're sitting there because that's like quintessential African mama
Banter?
late afternoon banter. You know, like
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you see somebody arriving, you're like, what are they up to?
Yeah.
That's where gossip time really.
It thrives.
At that time. Because you're like trying to see who, you know, people being nosy, who's doing what.
Right.
This is the same moment Akisa actually arrives.
So that even fueled the gossip more.
Yeah,
but
because like, not that girl being back.
But before they even noticed her, remember Kanini was wearing like super short shorts.
Yeah, on a boda sitting astride.
What? Astride?
Yeah.
Sitting like a man.
Yeah. No, don't say like a man because I sit like that.
Because that's what they say. Oh, to the chikazi.
But they're sitting astride. Stop using sexist
Okay, I'm
terms.
sorry.
They were sitting astride.
All right.
Not sitting like a man.
Not all of us know the meaning of astride, ma'am. Right. So she gets off the border and then she has this lesu.
Oh my god, guys, if you grew up in conservative communities, you know
this will make so much sense to
like
you.
in your bag, you're traveling with one lesu.
In case...
What do they call it? Kitenge?
Yeah, one kitenge or a lesu.
Yeah,
In
like
case,
a wrap.
Yeah, in case, because I remember like in some communities, even seeing a woman wearing trousers or pants, it's like a big deal. So you have to put that on top. So I feel like she knew.
Yeah, she knew.
Because the moment she got off the bike, she put that on and then
real
she
quick.
went.
Because her mom was already having issues. And then we were gossiping. Like, why is she trying to find a sugar daddy among these boys who dig? So it's like farm work is really looked down on.
Yeah.
You can get the vibe.
Yeah.
People don't respect farmers. That's the thing.
Which is kind of sad because without farmers, we wouldn't be here. I mean, they provide the food.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you can dig, call me.
Grace said in the shop that the moment she finds a rich man, she's gone.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a sentiment among a lot of people that
In that community.
There's nothing going on. There are no opportunities. And then we see her, oh my god. Remember when Kanini meets her mom? Her mom is like, why are you dressed like that? Who are you with? And then she calls her a cow.
Yeah. Listen, guys, if you have a history, or maybe if you're still going through it.
Your African parents, you know, this is like commonplace.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can't relate,
verbal abuse.
I am so happy for you.
There's a lot of verbal abuse in this show by parents.
A lot. Like,
to their children.
A lot. Like, this is a poster episode for African parents traumatize their children.
Yep. And it's sad, you know.
Really sad.
It's really sad because I don't even have words. Anyway, so yeah, the mother abuses her. She even pulls her ear.
Yeah, and then calls her, you cow. And then teachers be doing that at school too.
Yeah,
if you've been to like East African
if it's not
school.
your parents, it's your teachers abusing you.
They said in Kenya they have no corporal punishment. Have you been to Uganda?
We're so happy for you guys. But we're still living through it. So
oh, it's the worst. Remember we meet Grace. This is when I wanted to talk about Grace.
Okay, you can talk about Grace.
I love Grace's character. So Grace is there carrying crates alone. They got the character down so well. You know, the people who be working in those establishments, they have to deal with like disrespect from the men clients.
Usually the clients are men. Usually.
Yeah, and it's usually women who are serving in these establishments, and they have to deal with that disrespect while also trying to act okay because these are customers and clients. It is horrible. You can see Grace, she was carrying those crates by herself. I mean, big up that actress. That's a lot. She really went into the element. She was carrying the crates alone. Nobody was helping her. They were like, some of them were sitting there, like they drank a whole. Oh God, I hated that for her. Like, I then understood her sentiment when she said, "I need to get out of here." I understand. It sucks.
That is true.
Because she's working herself to the bone. They don't even respect her at the workplace.
She was asking Charlo, "Are you going to propose to
Yeah,
Anna?"
I
think she knows.
Yeah.
That he's planning to propose to Anna. Remember Anna, the pretty girl? The pretty girl. The one we saw before. Yeah, so
Charlo's girlfriend.
Yeah, so Grace tells Charlo. Charlo was fixing a sink in the bar, and then Grace told him, "Are you going to propose to her dressed in that shirt?" And then,
mind you, my guy, he says yes. Like,
I think he doesn't see a problem with it, which is again Grace doing the most for these people. Anyway,
Grace.
So she said, "Do you know? I think the bar is owned by their dad."
You think so?
Yeah.
Who's dad?
The father of
Charlo. Really?
Yeah, because remember? Anyway, because she told him. So after she asked him if he's going to propose to her in that shirt. And then he said yes. She said, "You need to try and be more romantic." and I don't know, do picnics or something, like, show the girl that you like her. And then he said there's a shirt in the back, which gave the impression that it's owned by the dad.
Oh, okay. Look at you. So he was going to use that day-old shirt to propose to the girlie?
Yeah.
My girl. He cute and all, but sometimes we need to have standards.
The bar is low.
Anyway, it is low.
Guys, so within the time that Kanini gets off the boda, we also see Akisa arriving.
And the gossip starts spreading like wildfire.
And she arrives in this really nice car.
Volkswagen.
Yeah. What was that?
That's the German pronunciation. I've been watching some German shows, some German Swiss shows.
Right, so she arrives and you can see the people, they're shocked. Later on we find out that this is the first time in 11 years.
10 or 11?
11 that she has come back home.
Yo.
Which makes so much sense.
They're gossiping about her curse. It's like she did something really bad, like scandalous.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to say what. It's just like nobody's even speaking to her like, "Hey, you're back." They're just looking
and then whispering, which is sad because that's not a nice feeling.
It is not.
If you're on the receiving end of that.
That's how it be. But she doesn't seem to mind. She's just on and about her business. I think this is where I feel like the actress really portrayed city, like a city person, like an urban life person's attitude. She really didn't mind. She was just going on about her business.
Because she stopped at a stall to buy some food, I think. Yeah. And then she got back in the car and went home to her parents' house.
When she arrives at the main, the front yard, and she drives up, gets out of the car, and she's walking, you can see everything hits her. The memories hit her, and then we start to see the way the editing is done in this show and the filming, they transition into flashbacks so beautifully,
so seamlessly.
It's so seamless.
That is
it's a flashback, but it's so seamlessly done. That was I'm amazed. Anyway. And then in the flashback, we see that Auntie Salome, who called her that your dad is sick, is holding her and she's crying. She's crying.
Yeah.
I believe that's her. She's crying. At present day, it cuts back to Auntie Salome is the first person
to see her,
who notices her while at the clothesline. And she's the one who hugs her.
Yeah, and she's the one who shows that she's excited to see her.
Her mom is just staring at her.
Yeah.
And in that moment, Akisa's face looks so dazed. She's out of it. She has trauma.
That is so true. And the coldness that the mother shows.
So cold.
My God.
I felt so much pain for...
Listen.
Because I'm the auntie's they're hugging her in the past, almost 10 years ago.
It's the auntie has always been the one.
Yeah, doing the mother's work.
Which must be such a hard thing for her to deal with as a grown woman who is...
Because why is my mom like this? It is painful.
Yeah, it is.
And then she goes into the house.
Yeah. And then she goes into the room of the father, and then she finds him coughing. She finds him coughing. What did she do?
I don't really remember what she
found. She runs out.
Yeah.
And then he follows her.
I think she sees him and she's like, the pain.
Yeah, that's definitely...
And you can see
can see it in her eyes.
And you see her first instinct is... We're going to actually see this theme a lot. Her first instinct is to always run away. And when she sees, I think it hits her and she's like, I can't deal with this. And she just runs away. She runs out of the house. And then her father follows after her. Mind you, this is he's not doing so well health-wise.
Actually, when he was following her, he was coughing, and then he almost fell to the ground. And then she picked him, like she held him.
Yeah, she held him. And then when they're speaking to her, the mom is still like in the background, like they're not doing anything. But then you see the father, he's like, I did what was best.
And he apologized. Did he apologize?
Did he apologize? He did not. He said, I failed you. Like, that's an African. That's pretty accurate. That's as far as they go to an apology.
Yeah, that's even a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. To say I failed you,
you won't get any. Anyway. That was a lot,
guys,
actually.
if you can already see, there's a lot of trauma here.
Yeah.
We can identify.
And then the mom tells her...
Because I think that's the one thing that I got. Like, he never apologized. And he died. And he never apologized. He just said, I failed you. And he was still trying to let her see that I did what was best
for you. The mom interrupts that moment, and then she tells Akisa, you need to go and get medicine for your father.
The mom is so cold. Like, even in that moment, it's like she's embracing the father. It turns from her helping him to embracing him. She just comes and cuts. Yeah,
go get the medicine.
Like, damn. Which is that was painful. And then you know what? She goes, because the next time we see her,
she's at the clinic, at
the dispensary. We used to call them dispensaries when we were young.
Yeah.
And clinic, dispensary. And she's at the clinic and she's picking up the medicine.
Oh, then we go back to the mines. And remember the child who won a golden stone?
A stone, which then
But you know what?
Come to learn is gold.
Yeah. It's so funny that these things actually like rocks of the earth.
Yeah.
Hence Eco Rock. It's so funny. Like
the name is such an irony.
You know?
And then rock.
I thought about that too. Yeah. So we see this child, the child who went into the hole and picked and found this rock. Obviously, it's like towards the end of the day. And you can see he's really exhausted. He's covered in dust. His skin looks dry. Like,
what is he supposed to do? He can't put Vaseline.
No, but like, he looks helpless.
They did the casting well, because that was not...
That kid, though.
I believe that.
And then the child was wearing like tattered clothes. And then the child faints.
Yeah, from exhaustion. Or like a lack
believe.
of oxygen in the tunnel, something. Those conditions are just not a place for a child.
Right. They take this child to the same dispensary that Akisa is going to. And the person who's taking the child is Chalo.
Which then also proves they don't even have like a contingency plan
for these minors. Really, it's just
like for the kids.
No.
Like if something happens to them.
First of all, kids are not supposed to be working in a place like that.
But like if you do make them work there, maybe make them have food and wear protective equipment. Not me, girl, bossing child labor. Listen, guys. But look, that means they can't do the courtesy of taking the child to the clinic.
No, because I don't think anyone would
have had to come.
Anyone would have helped that child if...
That is so messed up.
It is. This child faints. Chalo takes the child to the hospital. Yes, on his motorbike. And then he's
very accurate, because like in communities like that, once you have a car, everybody's going to use it. If you have a vehicle,
it's going to be a community vehicle. You cannot not help somebody if they're in need. We then learn that Anna is the nurse, is one of the nurses.
Yeah.
She works at that...
She seems to be like a head nurse. Like people report to her.
She works at that place. So she helps with this child.
And then she's like, you can see she's annoyed, like, not this again. That
means that's not the first time.
That's a common occurrence.
Yeah. So
kids keep getting sick because of working at that mine.
That is so true. And she takes this child in. She gives him a glucose drip.
Yeah, glucose drip.
Yeah.
Oh, that means those kids are not fed.
They're overworked. So it is there that Madame Akisa, coming to collect medicine for her dad, finds Chalo.
Yes.
And you can see, like, that moment they lay eyes on each other, you could see, like, there's a lot of unresolved issues that, like,
you see like they recognize each other
in their eyes.
And then she does what she always does.
She runs.
So then we know that's a place of pain.
So we realize, something must have happened.
That is not pleasant. Because she always runs away when it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Akisa, like, she runs away, goes with her car, and then she goes in these, like, growing woods.
Yeah.
Like little trees that are growing.
Farm, yeah.
And she's walking in those trees, and we see a flashback. And that flashback is so seamlessly done.
That flashback was really good.
I think this is when we realize, that must be her and Chalo when they were younger.
Yeah, because they're wearing school uniforms.
Like school uniform, yeah.
Probably in high school. So.
Like two teens that are really smitten with each other. They're very cute. And
young love.
Yeah. They're really cute, and the music really goes well, and it flashes back to present day, and you can see that she has that look that she always has, like she's dazed, like she doesn't like remembering. It's painful. Remember when she runs out right of the clinic, Charlie is following her, like he runs after her, then realize later that he followed her where she went. He goes, sits where she is, and it's like, you're back. He looks happy to see her. She does not look happy. She's still in her like dazed, and she tells him, just let it go. And that is a response. Near the closing scene, before we see the father dead, it's Charlo burning a picture with a young Akisa and him. You know, like those pictures you take if you went to East African high schools, guys.
Yeah.
Not these are my international ones. These like normal ones. The ones which local ones. Where like there's a photographer.
Did you just say local?
Yeah, the local ones. If you want like boarding school, there's like a photographer that comes like a few times a term.
Yeah, and everyone, if you don't get your picture then,
yeah, you won't.
Yeah.
They have like, he was holding a photo that it looks like one of those photos where like you pose in your uniform. It's like, it's really cute. And he's burning it. And when he's burning it, you can see he's crying.
That means he was holding on to something, and now that he's seen her,
and she has told him just let it go.
He's no longer holding on to it.
And then he burns it. I was like, ouch.
Yeah.
But then I kind of get it. But mind you guys, this is a man who was proposing soon
to somebody else.
He has a ring.
Yeah.
And he kept a photo of high school girlfriend.
Like I said, young love.
I don't know. Does Anna have any hope? Oh, he looked mad hurt though. Why was he keeping the photo that long?
I guess he hoped that she would return.
He was so happy though.
It also gave the impression that he probably was not aware of the reasons that made her leave in the first place.
That means their parting was, there's a lot of unresolved
that one
feeling with their parting. It's like for her, she's over it. Yeah, she's more comfortable with that they parted. And he's just like, what? You're back. It means
he doesn't know what happened.
He doesn't really know.
It still gives the impression that something
it was sad.
Happened.
It really was sad.
Yeah. Remember the gold situation where the Congolese, so they were exchanging gold with money, and the team that was taking the gold was the Eco-Rock team. And it's like they were buying gold from Congo, from some Congolese smugglers, because I believe they also smuggled it from wherever they came from. So they later found out that the gold was fake. They started torturing the guy. So the representative, he was almost a representative, because he was the one doing the transactions, the negotiations rather. And then Max tortured him, asking him where is the gold, and if we can't find the gold, we need to return the money, because this is Eco-Rock's money, right?
Vivian is like, you better get my money.
Yeah.
This is when we see the power dynamics. Yeah. Vivian holds the leash.
And even then, there's somebody on top of Vivian asking,
who is a white man?
Yeah, a Swiss man.
I am not surprised.
It'd be like that. So we knew. So there's this white guy who's like, where is the gold you promised me? And then Vivian is asking Max, where is my gold? And Max is asking this Ali guy, where is the gold?
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess, because it's like there's a chain of command. The person at the bottom really has no hope. Like Ali, because he was shot in the knee, because they thought he was lying.
And last time, there's another Netflix movie. It's a Ugandan one. It's called Girl in the Yellow Jumper. You can go and see. They explain what shooting in the knee does to a person.
It's really dangerous.
It's like one of the worst possible areas to be shot in. Yeah.
So they shoot him, and now he's helpless. He doesn't have the gold. They don't have the money. And then Vivian is stressed because the Swiss guy is like, where is the gold? And she doesn't have the gold. She also doesn't have the money. It's such a mess. And you can feel the anxiety. Like, you feel anxiety on Vivian's behalf.
Like, I don't support her.
But you can feel she's in such a tough position. So is Max. So is Ali. I don't really know.
Who they then shoot. Yeah. And Ali's like, yo, my mom and my sisters, they depend on me. And now they've messed up his knee. Oh, they're going to be, like, in poverty real bad.
That is the thing, though. These things, it's like, when you hurt somebody, you just don't hurt one person. There's, like, a lot of people who feel the repercussions of that. So I'm imagining, because they've shut his knee, so he won't be a provider anymore, which means his parents, his mom,
he won't be able to, like,
they might have to be forced to do stuff.
They probably already do stuff, but it's like, to supplement, because it's not enough. Because let me tell you, there's no African woman who's not laboring.
That is so true.
That little that they were making is going to go on medical bills.
That is so true.
If he's alive.
That is the thing, though.
They say they're going to throw him in a river.
Anyway, so it's
and then remember the gold that Josiah, the little boy who then collapsed, found. This guy gave it to his overseer. The guy who claimed that he found it gave it to an overseer. The guy who was wearing like
the khaki,
like how colonizers wear, colonizer core, and he's sitting in a tent not out in the fields. Anyway, and then he makes a call to Vivian and said, hey, we found gold. And Vivian is like, this is such good news, because like she was looking for
a way out.
Yeah, because she's in a bind, and you can start to see her villainry, because then she's like, show me the land where this is. And that guy shows her, and it's like, this is all mine. And the place she's saying is all hers is Silanga.
Yeah, the village.
God help those people.
The community of Silanga.
God help those people. Honestly, if they find any natural resource on your land,
God help you.
Especially if you're black.
You know, it's so funny, because I remember when we were growing up, they used to tell us when they find gold or oil or, you know, those highly valued minerals, just say goodbye to your land, because either if you remain on it, you're gonna die.
Oh shit. So that's it.
Yeah. I remember a few weeks back, there was this rumor spreading online that Uganda has discovered gold worth lots of millions of dollars.
That's a lie.
Anyway, but let's imagine that is true. You know what happens? Because I feel like the people outside of Uganda were thinking, oh wow, you know, maybe they can finally pull themselves up by their gold. But you know,
have you met neo-imperialism?
But in reality, that's just a death sentence. You know, like, that's just announcing another conflict, another person.
Let me tell you, that's not even Ugandan gold. You want to get into it?
No, we're not going to get into it. But I'm just telling people who are like outside of these countries, when you hear some of these news, like they've discovered oil or gold or whatever, you just know that the people in that community are going to suffer. Because they never get to benefit from those resources.
They know it is done.
Even the people themselves know it.
Cut to Akisa takes the medicine for her father.
Yeah.
And we can still see this running away from things element in Akisa.
Yeah. Because even when she takes the medicine, she finds her mother and her aunt outside. And she tells them, I'm returning back to the city.
Immediately.
Because she just arrived and she already wants to return. It seems she doesn't want to stay long enough.
And I'm supposing it's a long trip.
Yeah, it must be. Because she arrived in the late afternoon. And remember, she left very early in the morning. She was supposed to have breakfast with Max. Yeah.
Oh, that means it's far.
It is. So she's telling them, Mom, I'm leaving. I've checked on him. I've got his medicine. I'm going to leave as soon as I give him the medicine. You want to finish it?
And then, she drops the medicine in the room of her father where he's lying down. And she's moving out of the room. But then something, I don't know what tells her to turn back. When she turns back and tries to rouse him from his sleep, he's gone. And the episode ends with her crying. It's like a wail. You can feel this grief. At first she was so resigned, she didn't really have a reaction to him, and now that he's really dead, you can see.
I think it's a mix of many things. It's like, I feel like she never got that closure.
No.
Like, she never got to express how angry she was at him for doing what he did, but now he's gone, and you can't hate on a dead person.
It's hard to hate on a dead person.
That's the thing.
You know, there's you feel guilty for hating on a dead person.
And I think she was thinking, he was just here with me a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
And now he's not. Like, the shock. Like, there was a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
And this is episode 1. Let us know, guys. What part did you enjoy the most about this episode? What part made you angry? Just leave a comment. Talk to us. We want to know your thoughts.
Yep.
You've been listening to the Two African Girls Review podcast, where we review black and brown films, TV, and more.
Don't forget to rate and share this podcast. Leave a comment on this episode and let us know what you'd like us to review next. Send us an email at twoafricangirlsreview@gmail.com. Until next time.